the victory over the 34th. Welcome to episode 10 of the Big Game Breakdown. I'm your host, Seneca Hampton, and this week we're going to talk about the victory over the 34-14.
Yes.
Yeah, 34-14 victory over the Biloxi Indians, and we're going to also bring on some offensive linemen finally this year because they ain't got state night tonight, and we got Jaden Ross and we got RJ.
Yeah, Raymond Johnson.
Yeah, Raymond Johnson coming on. And then we got also the legend of OS himself, Alan Howes. So make sure y'all stay tuned for another episode of the Big Game Breakdown.
Seneca Hampton, where you at, boss?
What's going on this week?
Man, just another good week. You know, playing for a region championship this week, so that's always a good thing. Credit to these guys for setting themselves up for that. And then, you know, it's going to be a hard-fought battle Friday night. So, you know, getting past Biloxi and then setting yourself up, being 3-0 in the region, and play another 3-0 team in your region. And, you know, this game's for all the marbles as far as the 1, 2, 3 seed go. And, you know, we'll make sure we come out on top and separate ourselves and make sure that we're setting ourselves up for the best success later on down the road.
Definitely. Let's recap the excitement from last week's game against the victory against the Biloxi Indians. Yeah. What was your takeaways from that game? Can you highlight any significance of that week? That game?
Yeah. First of all, kudos to our players. We had, you know, a couple situations pop up from injuries from the previous week, and then things that happened during the week as far as injuries go. You're going into a game, you're down 4 starters, 2 of them being your returning all-state guys, and 3 of them being on offense, and you know, the game plan was fairly normal going through Monday through Wednesday as far as the personnels you're in, the formations you're in, who's on the field, everything else. And then something pops off on Thursday and you only got 2 receivers on the varsity roster at that point. So it was a complete flip. Throw the game plan out the window. On Thursday, you start installing a new game that as a coaching staff, we had about 30 minutes to prepare for, and you're going into a Thursday practice where you're wanting to be light on their legs, but you know, these guys understand we got to do what it takes to win and set ourselves up. So, you know, they bought into the Thursday practice that we had to change up, install a whole new offensive game plan on Thursday. Defense adjusted to us and got off our normal Thursday routine, and they were you know, doing different practice as well because of what offense had to deal with. And so you go into that game, you're hamstrung in 1 personnel, and you got 2 receivers on the varsity roster at that point, which is not what we're used to. Is that we're used to a bunch of dynamic guys out wide, and changing that whole game plan and then being able to execute it at a fairly high level on Friday was just to the players. Yeah. You know, kudos to those guys. You know, that takes a lot. You work on things Monday through Wednesday. You put them in situations that you think they're going to be in. You show them things on the field you think they're going to see, and then you X all that on Thursday and be like, all right, guys, everything we've done Monday through Wednesday doesn't matter anymore because we're not doing that, and you're not going to see that. Well, now this is what you're going to see, and you have 1 day with no pads on to prepare for it. But, you know, we had to do what we had to do, and like I talked to them on Thursday, no matter what happens, every Friday during region play, there's somebody in front of you. Biloxi was the next one to get through, and we had to do what we had to do to win, no matter what it took. No matter if it took taking BJ and putting him in a number 75 and a number 15 to play left tackle. We were going to do it, and but you know, it didn't come down to that, and they executed the game plan that we put in 24 hours before fairly well, and you know, put up 34 points, and you know, defense credited that with a pick 6 from Gabe Berga, and it was a big win for us, especially not necessarily knowing what it was going to look like even on Friday. You know, ball was kicked off, so big time on these players. You see a lot of growth out of these guys, even the young guys that stepped up. Ian Harlan, who's had 1 start this entire year and goes in, and he's one of the dudes. It's him and Nolan. And I told him, Nolan, and Hayden Berglund, I said, you don't have the option. You're not coming out. And you know, if you roll your ankle or something, you guys suck it up. You got to be tough for this team. You don't have the option of coming out tonight. We don't have anybody else.
Sucks to be you tonight, buddy. I see on the stat sheet the offense had put up 408 total yards.
Yeah.
320 of that was rushing.
Yeah, it was, and a lot of reason why our O-line's here, opposite of the fact that they have their O-line dinner every Thursday night, so they've kind of been cut out of the live stream show for the most part, but they're here tonight, and they're a lot of the reason for that. You're down your all-state left tackle. You have to move RJ to left tackle from the left guard position. Yeah. You bring in another junior and Ethan Horn to play left guard, and then everybody else. I told those guys before the game, even though Zay's down, I don't expect any less from you. Right. I mean, I still expect the line of scrimmage to move. I still expect y'all to play the same tenacity y'all play with week in, week out, and they took that upon themselves and played a really good game up front. Yeah. I mean, they were playing against a loaded box. Like I said, we were in a too tight personnel for the majority of the game outside of one play, and when you do that, a good football team is going to put more people in the box. So we're playing against 9 people in the box, if not 10, for the majority of the night, and they still moved it. They still moved it. They still gave us opportunities for big plays. They still got short yardage when they needed it. They were able to do the things they needed to do against stuff that they had not prepped for all week, and people take that for granted. I mean, even in the coaching world, and especially in the outside world, when you're not at practice every day, of what you show the offensive line every week. What are you showing them up front? Right. What kind of blitzes are you showing them? What does those teams like to do? And you have to show those things to them throughout your scout work at practice. Of I'm going to present you this look. What are we going to do to this? Right. Well, I'm going to put you in a bad situation, a bad play call, and show you the same look, and how are we going to respond to that? And they work on those things for 3 days, and then they get 1 day of a no padded practice to kind of maybe figure out what you're going to see, and they handled it really well. Yeah. Ethan Horn came in and did his job, played a really good game, and then RJ bumping out tackle, had a phenomenal game at left tackle. You can't say enough about those dudes up front, and the responsibility that we put on them to make our offense move. I mean, you're back there. You're not throwing for a lot of yards every game. A couple guys back there that can really run. Yes, you can spread the ball on the perimeter. You can throw it downfield some, but those guys know what the strength of our team is. It's those guys up front that people carrying the football.
Most definitely. I see, like you said, we struggled in the passing this week with being down, numbers being down in receiver. We would still manage to get 80 yards passing and 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
Credit also the defense. They gave up a total of 330 total yards.
Yeah. 2
of those being on 2 long plays.
And the big plays, they count. They definitely count. I mean, they accounted for touchdowns for them and kept the game close. And the things they were doing on offense, man, they have a ton of skill players, and I'm speaking offense and defensively now. They have some of the better skill players that I've seen this year. They have guys that can flat out go. They have guys that can catch. They have a quarterback that can throw it. Right. A huge credit to the defense. We put a lot on them, especially in situations where we don't know what we're going to be on offense that week, and they always show up. They rise to the occasion. Right. They hold people out in the first half. They give the offense time to figure things out. They give you a chance to separate. They create turnovers, and that's been an MO for Biloxi throughout the last 3 or 4 weeks. Is they turn the ball over a lot. Well. Yeah. When you game plan, you can't count on turnovers. You can't count on a kid fumbling. You can't count on a kid throwing a pick. For the most part, they do gain a lot of yards. They just don't put the ball in the end zone. Well, they created those turnovers. There was 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions. Gabe Berger had a big pick 6 to kind of get us going, get things rolling in the right direction. And you come back out, you 3 and out them, and then you turn around on offense and you score in like 7 or 8 plays. And that's what gets things going. That's what puts teams away. That's how you separate in the first half. We talk about it all the time. Is a lot of Ocean Springs football is separating that first half and then controlling the ball in the second half. Well, that's what our defense allows us to do, and they played a huge game. BJ had another big night, 9 to 10 tackles, 5 tackles for loss and a sack, and then Ricky had a great game as well. He had 3 or 4 tackles for a loss, and then Jacoby Bailey was our player of the game. He had an interception, a forced fumble, and I think 11 tackles and several of them for loss. And I mean, you go on and on about those guys on defense and what they did. So big credit to them. Adjustments that they made, even though they played well the whole night, just the small adjustments in game that they made and made them, whenever they had the ball, you're going to have to drive the field. Yeah, they had one really big play and then one that was a pretty big play, but outside of that, throughout 48 minutes, they made you drive the field. They made you keep snapping the ball and then give opportunities for turnovers.
And Sherrod, your quarterback, Sherrod Whitehead, I see he was player of the week. He was 9 of 15 for 80 yards passing and 1 touchdown. Plus, he carried the ball 14 times for 158 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. What did you think of his style of play?
Again, same thing we're talking about with the offensive line. You show quarterbacks looks all week. You show them everything that could possibly be presented to them that you think that they're capable of doing. And we show him all these things Monday day of different personnels, whether it be 1 tight end, 4 receivers, 2 tight ends. I mean, your jumbo personnels, all these different looks, and you throw it out the window on Thursday, and it's like, all right, well, best I can tell you is they're going to be cover 3 to 1 look, and if it gets to short yards, they're going to be cover 0, and that's it. Right. I can't tell you where people are going to be at. I can't tell you how they're going to line up. I haven't researched this personnel enough to stay in a full game in it, and he handled it well. There were some hiccups at times. We start practicing our opening script of the game. I mean, we'll start practicing that on Tuesday.
Right.
So you go through 2 days of practicing your opening script, and then you throw them a curveball on Thursday. And it's like, no, that ain't what we're going to do. I'll tell you what, our open script's going to be Friday morning because I don't know yet.
Right.
And great job by him handling the game, going out there, making sure that we come out with the win, taking care of the football when the time came. He did throw a couple interceptions. One of them was a 3rd and long that, it's a long punt if we don't complete it. It's not that huge of a deal. And, the other one, it was a little bit costly, but that's going to happen when you're a quarterback. And I always tell my quarterbacks, is like, interceptions aren't bad until we start piling them on top of each other. It's going to happen in high school football. You're going to have balls go off a receiver's fingertips. You're going to have a play called coverage that they think they're going to run. They're going to disguise it and even fool the play caller at that point in time. There's not a whole lot of going interceptions. As long as we're toting the football well, we're not fumbling the ball, I'm okay with interception here and there. And, he did a really good job of handling the offense, understanding what we were trying to do, knowing that we were playing ball control, and then making big plays when the crease came and when the time presented itself. And that's a lot of our talks throughout the week is don't be afraid to be a hero when that time presents itself. Be that guy, be that dog, and he was able to do it when the time came up.
Oh, definitely. Before we wrap up the Biloxi segment, any closing remarks?
Yeah, I mean, we go back to the way these guys played and what they did on a short game plan week, and I want to credit the Biloxi's players, their athleticism and what they were able to do on offense and defense. It was remarkable. Like I said, it's some of the best skill guys I've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a really good job of breaking tackles, making big plays when time presented itself, and then our guys hold them at bay as best they could with a little bit of a skeleton crew. And these guys are as much stuff as they've taken this year as far as in their non-region schedule. They're showing you what they're made of. They're showing you that no matter what, we figured it out. We can go out there and win ball games. We've learned how to win as a unit, and they're going out there and showing that now. So, we're obviously wanting that to continue forward, and nobody taking any credit away from these guys for it being 34-14 or whatever you think the score should have been. Yeah, it could have been worse. It could have been this. It could have been that. But they're doing what it takes to win the ball game on short notice, and made it happen, man. Yeah. Made it happen any way they could.
Right. All right. We're going to take a break, and we're going to be right back, and we're going to come back with our player spotlight. We are back, and this segment is our player spotlight. This week our guests are Raymond Johnson, junior left guard, second team All-Region last year, known for his athleticism on the line. And we also have Jaden Ross, junior right tackle, has Division I size and a leadership mentality on and off the field. Appreciate you guys for coming on the show this week, man.
No problem.
You know, I know on Thursdays y'all have y'all own little thing, so it's hard to get y'all on here, man. We had to move some things around, but I'm glad y'all here, man. So tell them what y'all do on Thursdays. Tell them what the offensive line do.
On Thursdays, on all home games, most of the time, we pick a spot and the whole line just go to eat because, you know, up front it's all about chemistry. You know what I'm saying? We all got to be on the same page, so, you know, there's no better way to do that than go eat out, have fun.
Great mental preparation, man.
Good team building. Key team building. I get it. All right. You guys have been anchors on the offensive line, helping the team rack up over 300 rushing yards last week. What's the key to maintaining such strong performance in the trenches?
Practice.
Practice makes perfect. Repetition.
We go against a great D-line every day at practice.
Every day, huh? All right, RJ, as a second team All-Region player last year, how has your name game evolved this season, and what do you expect heading into this matchup with Gulfport?
Well, I mean, last year I didn't even play guard. I played tackle. So I feel like I've learned a lot more just about football and how to play the game of ball just by moving back to guard and stuff like that. And going into the game, I mean, we watched the film. They got athletes up front, but I don't feel like it's nothing we can't handle.
Right. Most definitely. You prepare, y'all ready for this game?
Yes, sir.
This was the game y'all had circled on y'all. Everybody that comes sit at this say, I ask them, what was the game that you had circled on the calendar? And they say, go for it.
Yeah,
is it personal? Is it still personal?
Not personal for me. It's just another game.
It's just another game, yeah. All right. Jaden, you got Division I size, and you're a key leader on this team. How do you approach leadership, especially with the district title on the line this week?
I mean, just keeping all the guys in line, making sure our mental's right. You know, coming to practice every day, being loud, keeping everybody in check. So.
For both of you, how are y'all preparing mentally and physically for the challenge that Gulfport brought this week? They have a strong, fast defensive front. What challenges y'all prepared for?
I mean, like we said earlier, just practice. We just practice for it, watch film, watch their tendencies, and get ready for them. Yeah. It's not, I mean, I really can't think of nothing in particular that we're doing. You know, just watch the film and be ready for what they bring to us.
Right. So he just
I mean, he said it. He said it all.
He said it all. I guess it's funny. Y'all have been lifelong greyhounds, or y'all moved to the city?
We moved to the city.
Where y'all originally from?
I'm from Brandon,
Mississippi.
I'm from Prattville, Alabama.
Yeah. So have y'all? It's obvious y'all bought into the culture here. Y'all all in. So what is it like for y'all to be a greyhound?
It's amazing.
It really is amazing. It's amazing feeling, amazing people down here. So friendly.
Yeah. What's your take on the school? You like the schools and is everything cool? I'm new here too.
Yeah, so the school, I mean, we got a great school system, great education, great to learn, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah. You know, it's bigger than ball with me. I'm always talking more than football, X's and O's, man. So, what's y'all plan B? If football don't turn out how you
Plan B for me, I mean, I'm really into engineering, so I'm trying to go to a school with a good engineering program and try to find me something in that field.
Is football a plan A or plan B, or school's plan A first?
Football's definitely plan A.
Football's plan A for me, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with my plan B at all.
Yeah, right. No, it's not. Yeah, it's not. What about you, Jay?
I'm big into welding. Yeah. That's definitely a plan B.
Yeah, it's always money in welding, man. You can't go wrong with a skill, man. You can make money for life as long as you know, accessible to that. Have any of y'all got any college looks or interest yet?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But let people know who you got and looking at you so far.
Southern Miss, Tulane, South Alabama, all guys text me on Twitter and stuff like that. Send me invites to the games and stuff. Talk and build a relationship.
You went to any yet? Yeah. You went to any yet?
Yes, sir. Okay. I've been to a few.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Southern, Cajuns, Ole Miss, LSU, some big names.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Y'all cooking, baby. That's what it's all about, man. That's what, that's the reaping the benefits of that hard work y'all putting in, man. I came and watched y'all all during the summer, during OTAs, and y'all really was getting it in, man. Like, y'all have really one of the best offensive lines in the state, like, and that's no cap. Like, y'all really that, you know. So, man, I want to appreciate y'all for coming and sit down with us, man. And we look forward to seeing y'all back, hopefully, you know, and district on the line this week, man.
It's a big game.
Will it be, what, third or fourth straight one in the way?
I think it's our fourth one in the way this
If
year.
you win that thing, yeah, go get that, man. One game in the way, man. I appreciate y'all for coming on, man. All right, man. Y'all be easy, man.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate it. All right, we're going to take another break, and we're going to be back with Coach Howes to wrap things up with the coaching spotlight of the week. All right, welcome back. Joining us today on the Big Game Breakdown is a key figure behind the physical and mental strength of the Greyhounds, Coach Allen Howes. Coach Allen Howes is not only the strength coordinator, but also served as the defensive back coach for the Ocean Springs Greyhounds. He's also an Ocean Springs alum himself. He knows what it means to bleed the Greyhound blue. After a standout career as a linebacker at Southern Miss, he back home helping to mold the next generation of Greyhound athletes, both in the weight room and on the field. We're excited to have him on the show. Welcome to the show, Coach.
Yeah, I appreciate that intro.
I had to give you some proper introduction,
Man, I
bro.
tell you what.
You know, I had to make you feel like, you know what I'm saying, I ain't want you like, hold on, man, start over, do it over,
Come
man.
on, man.
Come
Y'all-
on with it, man.
That was a good one right there. That was a good one right there. I ain't gonna lie to you, big lady. Yeah, man, that was a good one. I appreciate that one. I tell you what, I appreciate that
No
one.
doubt, man. So, Coach, man, discuss your role in developing the physicality of the Greyhounds team and your impact as the coach, the defensive back coach.
Man, so like my biggest thing coming back was I just wanted to give back and give these kids an opportunity. Granted, I had great coaches, right? I had great coaches growing up. No, won't take any of, won't say anything bad about them. Like, they instilled something in me that made me successful throughout my life. So, like, I'll never be able to take. But I also wanted to give our kids something that we didn't have.
Right.
You know, being from here, I understood, like, man, we were missing something. So I just try to pick those different things out that maybe I wish we would have had this when I was growing up, and I try to just instill that into what we do now. And like, just in the weight room wise, man, like learning from my college experience, you know, what you do in the weight room is how you perform on the field, right? And that transpires just throughout every play. So I want to make sure, like, the intensity, the violence, right? The speed, the attitude, all that. I want that to drive onto the field. So you know what I mean. It's like when I'm in the weight room, I'm asking the guys, hey, violently pull that weight up, because I know, you know, that transfers to the field, and that's what you want. Yeah, and that's what you want.
I get it. So, as the strength coordinator, how do you ensure the team is peaking physically and at this point in the season?
I've been fortunate enough, you know, to work with Coach Bramlett. We've developed a system that's been proven through multiple years, right? And each year we tweak it to what works best with the kids that are coming up, right? Because not all the kids are the same, right? You get different classes that need different things and whatnot, and so we tweak it to make sure that each class has that opportunity to grow to the point to where they're getting to. Now we can develop as a team specifically, you know what I mean? So that's been our biggest. I want to not only a lesson from that I've learned from them, but also just something that we've established.
As someone who played at USM and now coaches at your alma mater, how does it feel to be back helping guide this program? Like, is this like a what they call them bucket list type job?
Honestly, it's something I never thought I was gonna do. Right?
Yeah.
I always had like aspirations of like having a business suit on and like fixing my tie and walking through like a skyscraper or something like that. You know, but I always tell people, like, when we talk about, oh man, how'd you end up here? I'm like, you know, I tell them about that, and then I'm like, honestly, I wish I would have done this sooner. You know what I mean? Like, and then, you know, being home definitely makes it that much sweeter. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing better than like coming back and just knowing that, like, man, this means a little, you know, this means something, and there's a reason behind it. So, like I said before, just giving the kids something that that we weren't given, you know, something that I wish we would have, you know, that would have been pushed a little bit more. I just try to do that wherever it is, you know.
If what can you tell us about the secondary's performance this year and how they're preparing for Gulfport's passing attack?
So, as far as our performance this year, like our secondary is really young, right? I was fortunate enough to have a core last year that had 2 years experience, right? And so, like with them, it was everything was like the back of their hand. You know what I mean? Everything was so natural. And this year has been a learning experience, also a teaching experience, right? Because now I'm going back to the years of where I had that group last year where I had to teach them from the ground up. But I will say this, like within this year alone, my guys that I have right now, every week they've grown so much. And it's not only, and like I said, we're young. So like the best thing about it is next year, these guys are coming back. Right? And I'll be fortunate enough again to have that group that they've come back. They have that playing experience. They have that foundation, and you know, it's something that I'm looking forward to. It's definitely been a pleasure to work with these guys right here. And then like when I first started teaching and coaching, these guys were coming up through the middle school where I'm working at now. So it's, you know, to see them grow and becoming what they are today. It's been great. As far as getting ready for Gulfport, you know, we've done everything. I feel like we've done everything that we could. You know, we watched our films. We've gone through, you know, extensive breakdowns as we do week after week. You know, right now it's just one of those things. It's like, guys, all year we've been saying, hey, we want to be 1-0 each week. You know, each week we want to be 1-0. So for us. 1-0 each week, district championship. You know, 22 straight district wins, going for 23.
Steady checking the box.
You know what I mean? Steady checking the box every week. So that's just been something we've been consistent about, and I think that's something that's translated to our kids better as the season's going on. It's like, fellas, we can control the controllables. Let's be 1-0 every week. So that's how we're taking it right now.
Being an alum of Ocean Springs, what is the state of the culture in your opinion? Do you think it's gotten better, or do you think it's headed in a whole different direction?
So real quick, shout out to the class of 2010, the mighty class of 2010, and shout out to my teammates of 09. Okay, so I had to do that one time, but
get them out there.
Yeah, just get that out there. But
if they're not, they were gonna get on you.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, ain't no doubt about that. But no, the state of the culture right now is like. It's the most beautiful thing on earth, right? Because like we have a community pep rally that packs out more than
look like
a lot
home
of
game.
exactly looks like a home game. You know what I mean?
Crazy. That was my first experience. This year.
Well, the thing is like I get 6 text messages and it's like, dang, y'all playing tonight? Why you didn't tell me y'all playing tonight? I'm like, well, we ain't playing. It's just a community pep rally. You know what I mean? Folks just coming out to to celebrate the season coming up. That's all it is. They're like, man, we thought it was a home game. It was like, nah, not at all. Not a home game, man. But you see that because like I said, I'm working with the middle school, so 7th and 8th grade games. I mean,
it's packed.
Yeah, people. You know, it almost looks like a high school game because people are parking across the street at the Big Lots parking lot. You know what I mean? The same way they would at a high school game. That's how our middle school games look. So I think as a community as a whole, you can't give there's nothing more. If you are another community, look inside it, outside in. We want to be like. Ocean Springs. So I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Right. Y'all most definitely have a vibrant community, man. That's what I love about it, man. Looking back on the season so far, what are some moments that have stood out to you, either from the weight room, you know, because you seem to always find the camera whenever it's out.
I think the camera find me, but
or you know, or on the field that demonstrate the toughness of this Greyhounds team. So.
If there's anything that comes to mind of that, it is how we responded from the early start of this season, right? Like I don't even want to call it struggles. It was just our shortcomings at the early part of this season, right? A lot of teams, you know, would have folded, right? Would have called it quits. You know, multiple guys would have been down. You would have seen, you know, just people checking out, right? And to our kids' credit, they didn't do that. And that specifically stands out more than anything because not only are they going to be, not only does it show on the field, right? But that speaks to their character as who they are, right? And so in the long run, even if they don't play football, after all this is done, you'll know that they can take adversity as a person and grow from that. You know what I mean? So like that speaks to them as a person, not only as an athlete.
Just like you said, you got a young group of kids, man, but it's going to translate into easier coaching as time comes on, man.
I say easier coaching. They still knuckleheads when it comes down to it.
Shout out to knuckleheads. Matter of fact,
you see how I did that? Pun intended. You see how I did that? Come on, man.
They got steaks big as your back down here. Make sure you come down here. Loaded potatoes big as your head. Hey, come on. And the drinks on that side, man. All right, but that was just a plug, knucklehead. All right, so far, what's the biggest challenge that you think the secondary is possibly going to face against the Gulfport Admirals passing attack?
They have athletes on both sides of the. Oh well, I'll say on both sides. They have athletes out wide, especially within their.
I think they evenly match with y'all.
Within their slot position, you know what I mean. When it comes to athletic wise, I will say like fortunate enough. You know, we're fortunate enough to see the same type of speed, and I think that has helped us as far as a secondary throughout this season. Yeah. We have guys that can go on our side of the ball, and so every day. Our defensive backs, they have to see that, you know. So they're not. It's not like they don't get a week off where they're just like, all right, I can take this week off. I won't have to see it. No, they've been seeing it since the summer, and we know that Gulfport, you know, they prepare for us like we prepare for them, you know. So it's just one of those things.
This is gonna be a big game, man.
No doubt about it.
It's, like you said, it got district implication on the line, playoff seeding, home field. Oh, it's a lot on the line.
Yes, exactly.
And plus bragging rights.
Bragging rights for that district championship.
Yeah,
but,
it's going to be bragging rights.
It is. There's no doubt about it. Like
amongst the players, because they like to, you know, they're friends with each other. This generation is different. We wasn't friends with other school guys when we were coming up, man. This generation did, man.
They know each other. They follow each other on Twitter. They go to visits with each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's the social media era, man.
It's just, but. It is. It's one of those. It's one of those games. Not only are we excited for, we hope that the community is excited for, and it's you know, everybody understands how big it is as far as how it sets us up as a postseason run.
Yeah. All right. Before we let you go, it'll behoove you not to talk about your middle school greyhounds. You want to give them a shout out?
Yeah, I got to. So first and foremost, shout out to our middle school teams, our 7th and 8th grade teams as we finish the season this year.
Strong.
We got some guys that are coming up that are going to be. That'll be instrumental in our development as a high school program, so I'm excited for that. And one time, shout out for those 8th grade Lady Greyhounds tonight as they beat Van Cleve. So congratulations, ladies.
Also, you still DJing?
Yeah, man.
Still with the
I'm over there at Ground Zero.
Ground Zero now?
Yeah, I'm at Ground Zero.
So, like, if anybody wanted to book you, they can just reach out to you and be like...
you can find me on Facebook.
Right
find me on Facebook.
Shameless plug right there on Facebook.
Right there. Find me on Facebook, man. Find me on Facebook.
Looking for a personal DJ, know how to rock the party, know how to do the crowd. Everybody know them. They know them. They come downtown. They done been to the Suckers game. They done been all the way around, man. I ain't seen you DJ a Greyhound game yet.
No. Busy. I'm molding the generation, the next generation. When I'm over here, I'm molding the next generation.
So you're really an important man of this piece right here. Then.
Oh man. I don't know, man. Trey, am I important around here? You see how I did that?
Trey gave you the thumbs up. You're good, man. You're important. Stamped and verified.
Right.
All right, man. I appreciate you, Coach, for coming on here this week, man.
Appreciate you having me.
Man. What took you so long? You supposed to came week 1 or 2, if I'm not mistaken. You stood us up.
I'm on the middle school staff, man.
Okay, we'll let
middle school staff
with that one.
We play on Thursdays.
We'll let you slide with that one. But this Seneca Hampton, and then we're going to take another break, and we're going to come back with Coach Bramlett. We're going to talk about the upcoming week against Gulfport and close things out. So we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Appreciate you.
All right, and we are back with closing thoughts and predictions.
I was like, predicaments.
Let me start all over. Let me get on there. All right, and we are back with closing thoughts and predictions. All right, Coach, let's recap the key points from the Biloxi victory and the importance of this week's matchup against Gulfport. I want to ask you your final thoughts and your keys to victory. So what's going
with Gulfport, man, is controlling the line of scrimmage, obviously taking care of the football offensively, and then taking the ball away defensively. But those are things that don't change week to week. I was telling them this afternoon when we got done with practice that those three things are football. Like that's what makes you come out on top at the end of the day, and that's what makes the scoreboard look the way the scoreboard looks. Is take care of the football, taking the football away, and then control the line of scrimmage. Then past that, I mean, we always preach on winning the three phases of the game. You win special teams, you win offense, you win defense. I felt like we won offense, we won defense last week. We did not win special teams last week. It just wasn't a good area for us last week, where it has been very good for us in the past, especially the last 3 years. It's been really good for us, and that's the key to victory this week. Win special teams. Make that a phase of the game. You win 2 out of 3, and you feel good about the way the things go at the end of the night. And that's it's something that goes week to week, but it's very specific in the locker room as to what you're doing in order to make that key happen. And this week is wearing out their defensive line, and then letting BJ do BJ things on defense, and then controlling the run game with the linebackers.
Yeah. All right, let's set the stage. All right. Gulfport, led by head coach Blake Pennock, returns to Hugh Pepper Field after 2 years and has the Admirals fired up. The district title's on the line, with the winner claiming the crown as the top team of the South of I-10 in 7A. Ocean Springs, under the leadership of second-year head coach Jake Bramlett, will defend their reign as the Kings of the Coast. All right, Coach. You just told us the key to victory. What is the mindset going into this game? I know it's 1-0, but are you trying to keep the team composed, or are y'all going in there and y'all going to put the pedal to the gas?
Hey, we're always going to put the pedal to the gas, but like all the things that you just said is the same things I told them matter absolutely none. This game isn't about me. This game isn't about another coach. This game isn't about another school. It's not about who's playing for it. It's Ocean Springs versus Gulfport. Mm-hmm. It's Ocean Springs versus Gulfport with all the marbles on the line. Who's going to be the 1 seed? Who sets themselves up for the best for the playoffs? And anybody can make it whatever they want to, as far as is you versus him. It's old head coach versus this. Is this versus that? No, it's not that. This is a new team. Half the players don't know who the other coach on the other team is. They know the other guys there. It's just Gulfport versus Ocean Springs, and that's how we treat this game. This hasn't been a game, where everybody's talking about marked on calendar. You haven't heard a single Ocean Springs player say, outside of tonight, that this one's marked on their calendar. Earlier in the year, it was Madison Central, it was Oak Grove, it was this. That's how we treat each opponent, and this one is no different. And they're in our way of winning a region championship. That's what's on our mind. It's going to be a good atmosphere, but it's never not in the Pep. It's never not in Ocean Springs, period. Whether you're at basketball, baseball, football, it doesn't matter. And that's, it's something that I want my team, and I want my characteristics to bleed off of them. Is this game is nothing more than a stepping stone towards our next goal. What was goal 1? Win the region, set yourself up for the playoffs. We'll move on to goal 2 next.
Mm-hmm. I think it's trouble to not realize that y'all are the 2 top teams in 7A. And I think a lot of people knew that coming into this season. It's been like that for the last couple of years. And so just to give the Admirals a little nod, they're finally starting to wake up now and surge. But if you go back and look at it, they're still playing catch up. So they're coming for y'all crown is basically what I'm trying to get at. Yeah. I think the water moccasins are starting to kick in on me now.
They're coming for it, but it's no different than they've been for the last 10 years. You can look back at Max Preps. They're 9-1, 8-2 coming into every single playoff. It's no different than what they've been. Wow. Last year had a little bit of a down year. If you just wanted to talk about wins and losses, they were playing very quality opponents they hadn't played in the past.
Right.
Those were quality losses that they had. they've been 8-2 or 9-1 every time that they've entered the postseason. I mean, for the last 10 years at least, and they've been very dominant in this region, and that's, you know, something that we're trying to hold on to right now. Yes, we've been dominant for the last 3 years, trying to continue that mark, and that's the next person up. I mean, it's just it's the mentality of, it doesn't matter the opponent that's coming up on Friday. We're going to prepare for you the exact same way, and we're going to try to put the exact same product on the field. And I tell them that's the way great teams handle opponents. It doesn't matter if they're 0-7 or they're 7-0. You prepare for them the same way, you handle them the same way, and great teams have the ability to do that. Good teams have the ability to handle great teams the right way, and maybe not great teams the wrong way. And average teams don't have the ability to do either one of those. And if you want to be a great team, you got to handle every opponent the same way. And I don't think this game's any different for us than Biloxi last week, or Harrison Central week before, D'Iberville week before that. Yes, it's amplified as to we're closing the end of the season, and this is a team that's won just as many games as you have, and this is a team that you have to beat to win the region. Well, guess what? You had to beat D'Iberville to win the region. You had to beat Harrison Central to win the region. You had to beat Biloxi to win the region. You had to do all those things to set yourself up for this position, and the position is now in front of you. And I think that amplifies them more than what the emotional of this, that, and another, or what somebody thinks, or who's coming over here, or what that person's name is. That doesn't matter to these guys. They're looking towards what we're trying to do at the end of the year. Yes, a region championship is very important. We want to win the region championship. We want to be the 1 seed. What's the end goal? It's not the region championship. The end goal is that pushing the playoffs, and you know that's what they're looking towards. But what sets yourself up for the best success in that area? Win this week.
Yep.
And then next week, win next week, and then the next week, guess what? If you lose, you go home. So you better win.
Win.
Yep.
Hey, Coach, before we wrap things up this week, we want to send a special message to Ocean Springs. This Friday night, we need you louder than ever as we take on the Gulfport with the district guard on the line. It's a battle for the top spot south of I-10, and we need the home field advantage to be felt. So come out and pack the pep and show your support for the Greyhound. Let's defend the crown and make sure everyone knows that the Kings are here, and see always Greyhounds.
Go Greyhounds.
Seneca Hampton, where you at, boss?